Good evening, everyone. Oh my goodness. Could have done a lot more things than watch that game tonight. I think a lot of people did too. So, let's just hop right in. The nightmare continues for Tata Martino and the rest of us. We are still in the doldrums. We are still, Rob Ursery posted on X the Ange quote, "Every time I think I see the light at the end of the tunnel, turns out to be an oncoming train." That's kind of what it feels like a little bit here. It's like there's a possibility. Things were looking all right. Played a decent game. Had some changes with some new personnel that kind of took the game by the scruff a bit. And but it just wasn't enough. New England, decent team coming into this. Significantly better record than us. I think they were at 12 points before this. Obviously, we know where we are at 4. Hasn't changed in a while now. But there was a good amount of time in that game where I thought, we could sneak out a win here. Do we deserve it? I think there's a decent argument that we do. I could also see a little bit of not that disallowed goal if that went a different way, which honestly, I wouldn't be mad if it did. That was an amazing goal. I mean, a part of me was just thinking, screw it, give it to him. It was a great goal. But obviously, I'm not going to be upset if it's withdrawn as well, which it was. But that put a statement, that kind of put a mark on the game for me earlier about this is going to be a tough game. If they're just going to get miracle shots like that in, they're going to start feeling it. They're going to start doing work. Wasn't the case. We clawed back. We scored one. And then the capitulation started after Savulov-Žnice just, completely missed his mark. Completely missed his chance. And New England sensed blood in the water and just went after us after that. Polished off the game with clinical plum. It was just, it seemed like, as AJ said, inevitable. It was always coming, That, as Chris Rock says, that train's never late when Atlanta United gives up a lead. Oh, man. This was a tough one. There could have been some positive indications, things that perhaps could be worked at and looked at as, things we could improve upon, things that we could take going to the next games. Like just some of the personnel choices, at the very least, I thought was pretty, it was giving some injection of energy, intensity. The game was hard fought overall, so that I like to see. Like we talked about last time, I was waiting for the consistency to emerge of this team being consistently intense. And, it's been 2 games now in a row. Hopefully that keeps going. And then I would then consider that if we see it maybe in 3, that's progress. So there's that at least on that front. Unfortunately, we just don't have the defensive and offensive consistency to be a good team right now. Let's see. I'm about to be joined by my good friend AJ in a minute. For some reason, his camera is bugging out for me, and I'm trying to fix it. Where are you? Why is it bugging out on me? Well, I will fix it, AJ, while you introduce yourself and talk for a second. Says I need to figure out why you are half on the screen and half not.
I think the same thing happened to me when you're not running the stream. I think there maybe some updates from our streaming program. So, well, either way, I mean, I guess you can hear my disembodied voice or half of my face or something.
You see your forehead. It's good, at least.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, either way, yeah, it is a very frustrating match because, yes, I think it's hard fought. I think a lot of people would agree, and there are some people that disagreed with me vehemently on on social media. We'll get to that. Yeah, I mean, 19 shots and quite a number on goal and a number of chances that we absolutely should have put away. I mean, really notably, Saba on that counterattack. I mean, he just ran out of gas with that shot, it seems like, but man, we got to do better. And especially, it's just, we kind of throw the kitchen sink. I think we make 4 substitutions at once. That's the most I've ever seen Tata make. Obviously, this is a new era as well, where we don't. Yeah, I mean, it's, we've not seen an era in which Tata can make 5 subs. And this is one of those. He threw everything against the wall. And we almost got it. This was reminiscent of the Pineda years, where we're chasing a goal. And yeah, I mean, I think like you mentioned, with the wingers, with Moranchuk, with Faba, it looked more dynamic. It looked more balanced. It looked like a team that could actually muster up chances, and we did that aplenty tonight. Problem is, the same old problem. Can't put the ball in the back of the net with regularity. And I think the midfield did incredible. I think we won a lot of the balls that we needed to win. We kind of let New England have a little bit more possession just to kind of, be able to hit them where we needed to hit them when we had the ball. We were a lot more direct. Again, though, the issues in the final third are glaring. And, a lot of people, maybe not a lot of people, but there are a number of people that are blaming Tata Martino and saying Tata out, which I don't know how one could seriously say that when he's getting us into the final third on a changed lineup on a Wednesday against a side that's 7 spot. Well, I think they were coming into the game, I think 8 or 9 spots above us.
Something like that.
The live score kind of changed it around a little bit, so they became 7th when we were playing them. But yeah, I mean, right now, they look like a playoff team, and we took them to the edge for most of it. It just...
Well, yeah, they got bumped up to 3rd place with this win, New England.
Yeah.
So they must have been around like 7th or something like that, because they now have 15 points, so they would have had 12. Yeah, they would have put them right around 7th and 8th.
Yeah, so they were 5th coming in. And so, yeah, that's the brutality of this. It's an early season, and yes, it's still something that, from a standpoint of, there's a lot of shifting for a lot of the teams that we're playing. But yeah, we just keep going further and further. I mean, Orlando is kind of that last stop right there. But I mean, I think with this result, are we bottom?
We are.
I mean,
in the East. Yep.
Yep. So yeah, there's no further that we can go, except for losing more and more games, which. Yeah, it honestly does feel inevitable. It feels like no matter what we do, how well we play, however much of the ball that we even kind of relinquish, we played a different kind of game tonight. And yet, it's just, it seems like it's written in the stars.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think there are issues with, I think, one sub that maybe wasn't made for me, which was Barakal staying in the game. And yeah, I think in the dying moments, if you had a Stian Gregerson versus a Barakal that was trying to win a header, I would definitely trust a Stian Gregerson with the ball inside the box to win those balls aerially and to head it down. And there are some glaring misses. Like we have to put him on goal. We didn't, and New England they were able to on the chances that they were given. And yes, there was that goal, that first goal for them that got disallowed should have been a goal. It was fortuitous. We finally got a call.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter at the end. It's just there are still the symptoms from last year where, okay, we went down and we weren't able to, really claw back with that goal. Heads didn't completely drop, but we have to be able to, knock a punch back, to land something. And yeah, it's just these type of games just continue to happen in some senses of, this one reminds us of 2023 maybe. A lot of the games probably reminded us this year of 2025. And with that 30,000 some odd people that were apparently through the, announced attendance or, paid attendance. Man, it didn't look like it, obviously. I think very early on, it looked super cavernous.
Yeah, Doug saying 30,306 is the lowest non-COVID announced attendance in Atlanta United's history for an MLS match.
Yeah. Which is still really good for a lot of teams, but
amazing for most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they also don't have a 70,000 seater, so it's
exactly.
Always going to look a little more disparate. But it's that sharp contrast from 2019, 2018, 2017, where, I mean, besides the famous chants that we have, or the more well-known, we can say that. I mean, even the ATL Viking chant is a bit sad, and some of the other lesser-known ones, it's a whimper, and when it's not like the capos are not singing, it's silent. And it's just one of those, though. I do want to say that, okay, when we're doing the call and response Atlanta United chant, and we win a corner, it's late, there is this thing that's always bugged me. The kind of lack of awareness of the game. We're just leaving that space in between the Atlanta United. And then, I mean, we were pushing forward for a corner, and you want to hear absolute, just deafening noise so that your opposition cannot organize. But instead, we continue with the Atlanta United, and there's just that cadence in there. I'm not going to say that it's the reason why that or anything like that, but I think we have to be just a lot more aware of the moments in which we can affect the game. And so if we need to scrap the chant just to be able to create noise when we really need to, I think we should. And I blame it all on Nick 17 because he was a capo.
Yeah, salute your capo tonight, everyone. He is our one and only Nick 17. So you were treated to that the director of Fun and Games tonight from Nick 17. So that's awesome. I think that was his first time doing it. So congratulations.
It was. Yeah, and I kid, of course, with that last just, but I'm serious about the awareness part because, yeah, like there are moments that we can affect the game. It is one of those things where Like we do need to be better. 10 years in, we need to have more awareness. We need to be able to, you know, get in the opposition's mind. And conversely as well, maybe not conversely, but additionally, are we getting into the goalkeeper's ear enough as far as the opposition goalkeeper, not Oyo's?
Definitely not.
As much as some of them might want to.
It almost seems like our players, oftentimes when they come to play for Atlanta United, they're the ones who get intimidated by like the pressure and the cavernousness of Atlanta United's home stadium, Mercedes-Benz. Like they're the ones who are like shaking in their boots to play there. The other teams, like we always point this out. The other teams have like the games of their lives when they come here because they think it's like their World Cup. We saw it from first of all, there was I think to score their first goal, it was by it was a debutant, right? It was his first MLS goal, right? And it's like, again, of course we give that guy's first MLS goal to him in this fashion. It's just always it's just always the same stuff over and over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, it's just what we do. I mean, that part is ever annoying. That's always part of the narrative for some reason. And I had this thought going into the game, you know, especially on a Wednesday. There were times, especially, you know, the first match at Mercedes-Benz Stadium ever against FC Dallas, you know, how many people on a Wednesday, I believe, were able to show up. And, you know, the ease in which I was able to get into the stadium tonight and leave on the first train, it just shows how far we've come. And by how far we've come, I mean how deep these levels go down. And it's one of these things where it used to be the hottest ticket in town. And it was on the kind of level of, say, like, if you look at the Los Angeles Dodgers or LA Lakers or New York Yankees, or, I mean, the amount of celebrities that were wanting to come to Atlanta United games and be seen at these games because they knew it was a hard ticket to get. People can't sell their tickets for $12.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we are now. And, like, people can't even give their tickets away. I mean, it's like this is not on Tata. Let's be real frank. It's a lot on the players. It's a lot on the scouting department. It's a lot on the people in charge that have let the rot sink in. And it's just it's brutal. It's brutal to think about that. That we were on a level of, in my opinion, Lakers, Yankees. Like, I don't think that's hyperbole. I think
for a brief hot couple years. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that ticket was that hot. And it's just yeah.
Yeah, it feels like what a lot of people, the phrase from like tonight, I feel like I've heard many times, is just, man, oh man, how far we have fallen. Like, just people just kind of reflecting on that. I mean, we do it a lot, right, to reflect on that, but it's tonight, for some reason, people are really saying that a lot. And I mean, just as always, it has been for years. It's staggering and precipitous how much we have fallen. It's almost like someone even said, I forget who it was on X, but they were saying, like, it has to be intentional. Like, there's no way this could be like by accident. This like unbelievable dismantling and just complete fall down from graces. Like, it almost seems intentional. It almost seems like, how they make the jokes about, like, oh, this team hires a rival team's, front office manager, and he just runs the organization to the ground because he's a vindictive jerk, right? So it feels similar. Like, there wouldn't be any daylight between that theory and what is actually happening, like the results wise. So it's kind of insane when you think of it like that. But obviously that's not what's happening, but there is no difference in terms of result, which is the sad part.
I don't think it's intentional, but I mean, Jonathan Spector came from Orlando City.
Well, there you
Chris
go.
Henderson.
Say no more. No, say no more about Orlando City. There it is.
Right. Chris Henderson came from Inter Miami.
He's like, trust me, you want to sign this guy. He's going to be great. And just every time, just the worst. Trust me, Jurgen Damm, you guys are going to be great. Just nonstop. Boom, boom. Amazing signing after amazing signing.
Right. I mean, it's just, it's not true, obviously.
Of course,
I don't know where the bad karma has come from. Maybe it's karma. I don't know if it is. Because, there's no Billy Goat. There's no Chicago Cubs curse or anything like that. At least that I can think of. I mean, the turning point. I mean, this should be studied in some senses. The downfall of Atlanta United should be studied.
It really should.
But
it's incredible.
Yeah. But it is. Yeah, it's one of these. Like, did it start with? I mean, I don't know. I mean, is it in 2020 when Jose Martinez, the sliding doors moment, when his knee gives out in Nashville?
Then the ligament tear heard round the world.
Right. And I mean, I can't imagine though. Like, what's karmic about that? We were right. Like, the Nashville fans booing Jose Martinez, like, for going down too easily or something. He tore his ACL. Like, so, I can't put water in that. But it is definitely where the slide started to happen.
Yeah. Of course. When you lose that leadership on the field and no one can really take its place in that vacuum. I want to read some quotes from Sidney Hunt tonight, which are pretty interesting. I have him on screen right now on X. So, Tata Martino on what happened in the second half with New England's goals. Quote, we don't have a problem with how we played in the second half. We have a problem with how we had to defend two plays. When a team isn't solid in either of those two areas, this is what happens. He also was talking to Fafa Bicol. Quote, more than the desire to win, we need to hate to lose. Excuse me, once we get that, the group is talented enough to get through the year, but we need to first bring that spirit up and get everyone believing in it. Then Sidney asked Fafa if there are players in the locker room that don't hate to lose. He says, quote, at the moment, I couldn't tell you. It's just something that we got to figure out, and we got to make sure that we're all on the same page to have that hate to lose mentality. So, he is answering quite clearly there. Players do not hate to lose on this team.
Yeah, I have an even bigger one here. This is from Joe Patrick. Tata Martino on his team's poor results so far this season. Quote, if I didn't have the history with Atlanta United that I do, tonight I'd probably be fired.
Oof.
I'm just going to let that sit for a while. He's right.
Yeah. That's all. I'm going to go find that and put that up if I can find it, because that's incredible.
But
yeah, there it is.
I don't think that he should be, because we know the rot doesn't come from him. Like, these players have been underperforming for a very long time. And yeah, I mean, he's done better than last year in some senses. The play is more entertaining, at least, in some senses. But unfortunately, the results are not getting better. The results are it's the worst start we've ever had. But can you argue the performances? I think we can. And that's the tough part to swallow about all this, is that I think there's an aspect, like I mentioned in, I think maybe 2 streams ago, that there is the quiet part that we're not saying out loud, that the team is not saying out loud, is that we're probably going to be okay with losing for a minute so that we can make the moves that we eventually need to make in order to get the right players in.
Yeah. We have to be okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more talking about the front office, really.
Oh, okay. The front office has to be okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what they're not saying out loud, which, why would they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it's really, like, I can't think of another, like, they're not going to fire Tata. I mean, let's just be real.
Yeah, of course not.
So, the fact that he said that, he knows he's got job security. Like, way he said it.
And we know it's not him. We know he is not the issue here. Yeah.
Like,
we just know it's not. It's unequivocally not him. I don't know why some people are saying it's, and I maybe people are approaching it from we're a big club, and regardless of the personality of the manager, we should move on when they have these types of results. We shouldn't stand for that. But it's like, we just know it's not him in this case. And it is, and you just can't fire the whole team. So we just got to ride it out for a little while, at least to the summer, to make some significant changes so we can have at least something to go with. At this point, with how bad things are and they're going, we were talking about how, I don't know if the front office is going to be, inclined to use the nuclear option to, buy out players and get, do whatever they can to really make some room. Because, that's very hard to sell to your bosses. And so I get that is the last ditch effort. We're now at last ditch effort time. I don't think that that's discussable anymore. I think it's just, we are there. And now when the summer transfer comes around, you do literally everything you can. You do the nuclear option, you do it. There's just no other, if anything else besides that, it's like what you said, they just don't really care. And they're just gonna eat up time, and, they just don't care if that's the path they take.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's less about them not caring. It's more about them having to sit with the fact that we're not going to be winning for a minute in order to make the moves that we want to make. Because we've been trying to retool instead of basically do a fire sale. And with the retooling, it's been a lot of mismatches with pieces, and it's just, we have to build from the ground up. Is Tata the guy to do it? He's got to be. He signed on for this. He probably should know the scope of, what he is signing up for. And I think with each passing game, he is realizing the scope of the work and the job that he has to do. And I hope he's on board, because he's the best man for the job. It is to a degree where, some fans, they're saying, why did we hire the guy that we beat with Messi on his team in the playoffs? But it's one of those things where, I mean, we said it last year. Who are you going to get? I mean, Tata is probably, as far as in MLS history, he's in top 5, probably top 3 of best MLS coaches in history.
Absolutely. Drew, welcome in to the this melancholy discussion we got going here. This is just, I mean, it's like, AJ and I haven't even touched on the game, really. We're just...
Well, I think we talked about, like, a
little bit, but I mean, it's just, we're just kind of at a meta level of being in a despair pool.
I was going to say, I think half the fan base is feeling this right now, and the other half of the fan base is just seething in anger right now. And that's... It's sad to see at this point, just because, honestly, we didn't have a bad game. We played well. I liked a lot of the changes that happened. I liked having Marinchuk play as that false nine. He started to have a lot more impact on this game, and then we just collapsed, and it's the same old story again and again and again of Atlanta right now isn't good enough, and it's a sad thing to see at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
So let's talk about the game a little bit. What were your bright spots? Because, yeah, there were positives to take from this game. How'd you like the intensity? That was something I talked about a little bit. How'd you like the one clinical finish we had? And talk a little bit about defense, too, because how do we let those 2 goals in?
I do like the compete level for most of this game was outstanding, and honestly, I liked how we played in the offensive half of the field. I liked the chances we were creating. Yes, we weren't getting good quality shots on goal most of the time. And the defensive game was just, we weren't doing bad up until we switched off. Once we switched off and we kind of let our foot off the gas for a split second, they were able to take advantage of any little mistake we made and punish us for it. And that is something that is a severe problem. The fact that we can be punished that quickly for just 1 or 2 lapses, it's a tough thing.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is. There was a comment on our Instagram on the post-match photo that says, this was a manager DIFF. I'm not really sure exactly what he's saying there, but Tata's fault. He made substitutions too late, and we paid the price for it with tired legs. Should have made the substitutions in the 60th minute rather than 77th when we blew a 1-0 lead. The team played well despite majority of the players being bench warmed. What are your thoughts on that?
I kind of agree. I do think we needed fresh legs out there. I think the subs came in a little bit too late, but we also, you go back and watch that part of that match. That whole span, there really wasn't any stoppages in play other than a couple corners. And first rule of soccer, you don't really sub at corners. And yeah, we definitely should have had subs come in earlier, but I don't know if there was much Tata could do, because at a certain point, the subs were up on the bench ready to go, or on the sideline ready to go, and they just couldn't get into the game. They were, before the first goal, they were on the sideline waiting to come in. And then corner happens, they go in, and it just swung the momentum of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not like Tata's going to be like, hey, someone kick it out. Because it's also, if you're a player on the pitch, you're not going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to kick it out. So, wait, am I the one that's going to get subbed? Like, hell no, I'm not going to. I want to stay on the pitch. And so that's, I completely agree with what you're saying. It's like very difficult to, in the run of play, do that. But go on, Drew.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, yes, would I have preferred Tata to have those subs ready a few minutes earlier? Yes, but at a certain point, what can he do? He's got the guys ready to go, ready to come into the match, and there's just never an opportunity for them to come in, and that's not on him. That's just a game state issue of kind of us not being prepared and kind of not staying solid enough in that time frame. We lost focus and we were punished for it.
Yeah, and I don't think it matters as far as a fatigue standpoint when a lot of these guys were changed out. So, okay, maybe from a match fitness standpoint, but I think ultimately we were still in the game. It's just a matter of we had 19 shots. We need to be more clinical. Like, yes, conceding 2 goals in a very short amount of time, in a short span, I mean, that's ultimately what lost us the game, is that you can't do that. If you expect to win a lot of games, you can't concede 2 or more goals in nearly every game. That's the crux of it, I feel like. I mean, it's, we consistently do this. It's not something that is a new thing. We concede goals in bunches.
Mm-hmm. So you just talked about the stats a little bit. So like SofaScore has slightly different stats than I guess like the other places. Obviously, they always do. They have us sitting at 23 total shots tonight.
23, even more.
7 to New England. They had 1 big chance, according to the stats. Their expected goal was 1.08. Ours was 2.57. According to this thing, like we had 48% of the possession, they had 52, so we lost the possession battle by a little bit. They had 8 goalkeeper saves to our 2, so Matt Turner playing very well tonight. We had 8 corner kicks to their 3. We had 14 fouls to their 10. The passing was pretty even among both teams. Tackles were pretty even. Free kicks pretty even. Yellow cards were 2 apiece as well. So yeah, I mean, pretty. Like in terms of our getting in and around the box and getting to, like high assist positions, zones, and getting some shots off, yeah, we did that. But just not clinical whatsoever, except for with Fafa Picoult, which, I mean, hats off to him. He's one of those players, I think, because he's brand new, he's not affected by any of that like negative malaise that seems to be draped upon the entire team. He's able to be resistant to it, and he goes, I don't care. I'm not used to losing. You guys might be. I'm not. So I'm going to go out there and score. I'm going to have some belief. And he crashed the net and scored. Like, there were plenty of times tonight where the ball careens across the mouth of the goal to no one. To no one crashing.
Yeah, there's a Saba cross that's, really, really good. Right across the 6. And no one's in the box, no one's on the back post, and it's just like, okay, well, we at least got the ball back, but it was just like, are we serious? This is a great cross. We should be thankful that we got good service, and we should absolutely be having some eye contact with whoever's putting service in. But yeah, it's that. I mean, and that wasn't even a chance. And our XG, which is pretty much at least 1.5 better than them. It's to get real nerdy, but here's the Instagram comment that I was alluding to earlier, saying delirious take on it being hard fought. Saying not hard fought, played scared, timid lineup. Saba looked geriatric. Galarza one-man band midfield. Alexi on an island trying to create with a bunch of inept USL quality.
I mean, like some of that's kind of right, but to say that there's like to lead with a wrong opinion that they didn't have like intensity fight. I mean, it's like I don't care how right you are about the other things, and you start wrong like that, like I kind of lose interest.
Right, because played scared, timid lineup.
And that's just a
just don't see
fundamental
that.
misunderstanding that we're rotating. Obviously, we're rotating. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Like, do you want to, like, you have fixture congestion. You're going to have to rotate and have an eye for, I don't know, a cup game, that is coming up in a tournament, the tournament, U.S. Open Cup that we're also in, that, in any chance that we have of winning anything is going to be there, except for, I guess, the wooden spoon. But, he's going to prioritize that. And so, maybe ELL saved a little bit for that.
But it's this. It's like, okay, which bits is he like right to you guys? Because I don't know if I agree.
So Moranchuk being heads above the other players in terms of like how he passes in his IQ, that has been the case for a while for us. And we always knew that. He's just not been on the same speed with the team. And that's kind of okay. That's not exactly something that we were like going, oh no, that's never before been seen in MLS, right? Where a DP comes in and is playing just at a different speed than the rest of his team. That is not rare, and it's not out of the normal. It eventually, they sync up and they figure it out. But then, I think it's a little rough to call them USL players, to be
And
frank,
that's really where I'm, the rest of this still doesn't make sense to me. Because, yes, so Alexi playing with USL quality. The next step up is MLS Next Pro. So, yeah, you can argue USL and MLS Next Pro and all that, but also who was with him in the midfield? Galarza.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Yeah. And Alexi Moranchuk was playing as a false nine.
Yeah.
So
and he played very well at that.
Right. So he's not playing as a midfielder. And then so, at another point, you have Jay Fortune coming on. And those through balls that he was placing in, I don't see USL players putting in that kind of quality ball.
Yeah.
It's just like Jay Fortune is not a USL quality player.
No, he's definitely not.
Yeah. So, that doesn't make sense to me. Galarza wasn't a one-man band as far as a midfielder. Because
I think it's weird to say. I mean, you could compliment Galarza in many different ways. For this game and past games, he has been very good. But one man seems weird to say. I mean, he was good and he has been good. Just say that because that's the truth.
Yeah. And then Saba looking geriatric. Okay, it's like I would hardly say geriatric.
Geriatric, yes.
Yeah, but
poor today, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. This him saying delirious take, I'm just like, is he prefacing us with his take? Because it feels like that's what it is.
Yeah.
But anyway.
No, that's a maybe not fully baked idea coming out of his head. But to each their own. We're here to help people rehabilitate their takes so they can repackage them and present them in a more agreeable manner and more factually accurate manner.
Yeah, I mean, if people disagree with our takes, totally fine. Show your work.
Yeah.
He tried to show his work, and, well, I mean, I think we just completely dissected it. And it was poor.
Yeah. It was left wanting. Drew, give us some of your... if there's anything else you wanted to get to before we get your last thoughts, so you can go to that.
I was going to say, well, I want to get into the Moranchuk spot, especially with how he played today. That's something I would like to see more of now.
Mm-hmm.
I liked what he brought, allowing our attack to kind of flow through him a little bit differently and kind of allowing spaces for our wingers. I liked how he would find the pockets of space, which he is really good at, is finding those pockets of space. And then he would turn and find the runners. And that was a good, positive thing to see. I would like to see it with somebody like an Almiron, like... I don't know if a Latte Lath would work in that sort of system, but it's an interesting thought because you use his pace in a different way. But it's those sort of runs that I would like to see more of out of the team. The other thought here is we wasted a good performance from Amador again.
Yeah.
And it's tough to see because he made a brilliant play on that goal. And sucks that I don't think he's going to get an assist on that. But it looked like he was just looking for somebody to swing across into, and nobody was there.
Yeah,
And
it's a great point on Amador.
Yeah.
It honestly, yeah, it's you don't see Baez doing that in his current ability, and he gets to the byline. He is able to. It's almost last ditch a little bit, but he's able to do this. I think with regularity is that you trust him to put a good cross in, and at least put it in the box.
The guy's got a high soccer IQ. I'll give him that for sure.
He does.
Right. And so, I don't know if Tata's going to play him again, in the next match. But because, it looks like Baez is going to be the guy for the moment. But, man, I don't know. I think we look a different side. We look a lot more attacking from the fullback position when we have an Amador.
Yep.
And, yeah, I mean, I can't honestly say that either of our fullbacks were really at fault too hard.
No.
In this match. I mean, it's just it comes down centrally usually for this team.
I was gonna say on the corner goal, it was bad man marking between Barakal and Will Riley, and that's what cost us.
Yep. And it's just, I mean, those guys, rarely play together. So the communication is always going to be an issue, but it also is Riley's not a super seasoned player, and I didn't mind him in a lot of the aspects tonight, but it still was, it's like the inexperience will show.
Yeah, and it's reactive too, and like in that to your experience point, the player that beat him in front of goal to tap it in. Started making that run before the defender realized the danger. The attacker realized the danger potential and started making the run and beat him to it, of course. Got in front and beat him to it. So it's, that's an experience thing. And it could also be like something throws you off. You put yourself on the wrong foot. You start going in a different direction. Then you realize, oh, crap, I do have to turn and go that way. And the other guy's already going that way. He's got a half step on you and he'll beat you to it. So it's... Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And... yeah, it's a great point. I mean, it's just like that's why a defensive midfielder position usually you see one of the older players in that position, and oldest guys on the team usually as well, because it's not about pace; it's about usually
positioning,
defensive awareness in position. Exactly.
Yep.
And I think with Barakal, I mean that's a different thing. That's just slow reaction.
Yeah, he doesn't cover himself in glory. Once again, he did get rid of the mustache, so there's that new piece of him.
I was gonna say, sadly, this was probably his best performance at Atlanta.
Yeah.
Not saying much.
It's not.
It wasn't that good. No. It was okay. I mean, in terms of our defenders, he was the second worst according to SofaScore. Matt Edwards was only the one rated lower, which I'm a little surprised about because I liked Matt Edwards for a good amount of the game, especially in the beginning. In the beginning, he had the fight and the intensity and ran all over the place like a gazelle. So that was something I just was looking for, right? I wanted to see the intensity remain consistent from game to game. Seems like we're getting that to some degree, so that's good.
Yeah. I think maybe from an attacking standpoint, he wasn't really offering as much.
No, and he rarely does. So, I mean, I'm not expecting him necessarily to, even though he is called upon to do that at that position. But I wasn't really expecting to be that dangerous down the right side.
All right. And then from a yellow card standpoint, I mean, we probably got dinged a little bit for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know,
But I didn't think it was all
it's-
that bad from him. That's for sure. I kind of liked him. I'd like to see more Matt Edwards.
Yep.
Exactly. And so I think there is a balance if he's in there. Like, I'm not thinking it's a just complete, like, okay, well, we'll just pray. And, I think it's very telling that our favorite player, Ronaldo Hernandez, is not even seeing any minutes.
Yeah.
But,
And this is kind of a different. It's similar to what we're talking about. And I'll let you go right after this, Drew. But so I was listening to Five Stripe Final, and they were talking about how some of the players, like the younger guys and the new guys from South America, a lot, maybe not Hoyos because he's an older veteran, but like the younger guys, they come in, they're hungry, and you don't see that hesitancy from them. You don't see the fear or anything like that from them. But they were saying with the prime age players that had come in from the previous regime, they were they had this idea or theory that they're more complacent. They don't have the hunger. So they're the ones who are not upset. They don't hate to lose, like Fafa Pico was kind of talking about. Whereas the younger players, not so much. They are the ones who would hate to lose. So I just think that was interesting. It meshes a little bit of what we're talking about right now with Matt Edwards and some of the other younger players that show fire in the game. And then some of the young South Americans too. And they were like, we should probably go back to more South Americans that are hungry to do more with their career instead of the prime age guys who are more complacent. That was kind of the gist of it.
I mean, Drew, do you have thoughts on that, or?
I see why it could be construed that way, definitely. But I definitely don't think I think it's being painted with like too broad of a brush at this point on that. I do agree that most of our younger players are hungry and going to get into the fight. But that's also a lot about trying to fight for minutes, trying to fight for playing time, trying to find a spot on this team. The older players, I definitely could see why they could say that they just don't hate losing, but you also got to think they're professionals. They are pro athletes. They are still, it is kind of hardwired into them no matter what. They're going to want to fight and compete to win, even if it's going terribly.
Yeah, I mean, and I remember one of the was it Ben Foster that talked to Brad Guzan recently in the interview he did on the Guzan show. Yeah, like he was talking about how him and Guzan would, after games, they would like take the negativity of the game and then throw it out of their brain at the end of the game and go home and be able to be, like nice and pleasant and happy with the rest of their life. They didn't let it taint that part of their life. But, so like I could perhaps see that as being interpreted as like, oh, these guys are like, oh, look at them enjoy, because that's what they were saying, that like the fans saw them like enjoying their life after getting shellacked in a game. And they were like, you shouldn't be enjoying yourself. You should be, back in the training room and you should be upset. You should be like, trying to improve yourself because you're mad at, the terrible result that you experienced and you let us down, et cetera, right? And then Ben Foster and Greg was like, you just got to throw that kind of nonsense out and not do that. That could be construed as like not hating to lose by people, I guess, who, like Drew was saying, like these guys are professionals. So perhaps just that's the facade that they have. They can compartmentalize well. Maybe that could be a thing of it as well, but.
Yeah, I mean, I want to touch on all those points because it's as far as compartmentalizing, it is, I think, wise to do so because to bring your work home, to bring it to your loving family, and maybe bring them down with what you're going through at work. Well, I don't suggest that is a healthy thing to do.
Yeah,
and,
that's on the fans to do, to go home after a game and yell at your wife and family about how bad your soccer team is.
Exactly, totally. Yeah, no, it's I think that's why these forums exist. You do it in the piece of the community that actually wants to hear it. And, don't burden the rest of your loving people that are part of your life with that if they absolutely do not want to hear it. So, yeah, I completely understand from their standpoint, like, why they do it. There are those very ultra uber competitive type of players that will bring it home, especially if they don't really have anybody to go home to. And, maybe this is not the same sport, but, the likes of like the Kevin Durant's, the ones that are going to stew in it. And sometimes it's healthy for them. Sometimes they, kind of drag themselves over the line with that type of mentality. But I think more often than not, most people are not going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Healthily, anyway. And, from the standpoint of, the European players are less hungry, or I think it's just a talent and an error-prone or not issue. And there are reasons why the players that come to MLS are the players that come to MLS.
Yep.
They're not going to be perfect. No player is perfect. But these type of players, they are also at an age where they want to win. Their window of winning is getting smaller and smaller. So the fact that people are saying that, they're not, afraid of losing. You would think that with their window closing by the passing year, that it's going to be a thought in their mind.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about, like, that the point that I brought up with that 5-star final said, and then kind of like how we're talking about it. It's interesting. I don't know where I fall in it. I think it maybe could be a little column A, column B. I don't know. I'm not going to diagnose because I can't say confidently, but it is interesting to think of the two different options. So, Drew, with that, we'll let you go. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're going to get to some of the other guests we have going on tonight, so we don't go over too much, but thanks for hanging out with us.
All right. Night, guys.
Take care, man.
All right. And oh my goodness. So we got Glenn from the 5 Takes just called me up and he said, hey, I got some things I want to say. So we're going to see if we can get him in here.
Yeah. In the meantime, I had one more thought on it.
Yeah, sure. Go for
it. With the South American players that they might be hungrier or whatnot. Yes, they do look hungrier. Whether they, that equals actually winning or not.
Right.
You can look hungrier, but if there's still a talent disparity, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, if the European player is more skilled than you and, maybe has a more winning pedigree or has won other things before, it doesn't matter, how young you are, that you are, fighting for each ball and whatnot. Like, okay, yes, you fight for each ball, but ultimately, the name of the game is to put the ball in the back of the net.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
No one is, but still. Glenn, good to have you.
Hi.
Hi.
How we doing?
I'm surprised you're still on the road.
Yeah, I had to park up in North Springs today because I had I had an appointment up there, so I just took that MARTA station. That is a ride. Let me tell you,
it is.
going up to North Springs.
Oh yeah, it's like an hour or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but I hate it less than losing.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all feel about it.
We're not too so like we got like existential tonight a bit. Like it was like we didn't super tear into the game itself. We did a little bit, of course, but it really we kind of felt dragged to just being melancholy about the meta conversation about this team. About like, how did we get here? Like, why are things the way they are? And I was almost saying to like, it almost feels like there is no difference between if a team was trying to do as bad as it possibly could and Atlanta United doing what it's currently doing. Like, there's no daylight in between those two things in terms of results. Maybe in terms of intentionality and methods, there's difference. But like in terms of results, it's like how could you have dismantled the 2018-19 kind of franchise so spectacularly, like how could you have done that differently, and then wound up here? It's like I don't think you could. There couldn't have been that much of a difference you could have done. So, Glenn, that's where we were at. Our heads were at pretty negative. Where are you at? Oh, you're muted.
Oh, you're on mute. Still can't hear you. Weird.
They cut the audio.
Wild. We'll maybe have to sort him out backstage a little bit.
So while he's just chime in when you get it going again, and I'll read some comments while we're waiting. What?
Oh,
that was quick.
Hello.
He's back. There you go.
Yeah. Similar to what you guys are, it's very difficult to watch something be burned down, something that was so beautiful, be burned down so thoroughly, top to bottom, collectively. Front office, staff, coaches, owners, players, everybody has played a role in this. And for me, it's not so much I love winning, I want trophies and all that, but we've built something around this. I've built friendships, you guys, everything. Like, we have built a life and a lifestyle around sport and around this club specifically. I wouldn't have made the friends that I've made had Atlanta United not come in and been here. And I really value that. And to see something that was, the framework of that be destroyed. I still have my friends and everything, but it's just a really tough thing to witness. And just hearing some of the quotes from the players, like that one from Fafa. God. Man, I'm not sure if they hate losing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where we're at.
No,
I agree with you guys.
He basically said there are players, probably a good amount, that from my estimation about how he's talking about it, from the quote, that don't hate losing, at least from his estimation. I just feel like you answer that differently. If you really sensed guys where, of course there are some players, you can't be uniform, or you can't be like an absolutist and say all of them are like this or something like that. There are of course players that do hate losing on the team. But I mean, the fact that he can't like just outright say, no, this team's dedicated to winning and they really, they hate losing. And yeah, they definitely want to, completely kick that nasty concept to the road. He just can't. He can't disabuse us of that notion. He just can't do it. And that really stuck with me.
Yeah, and the important part, sorry, I don't know if you're talking there. I'll just add real quick. The important part is that he came from a MLS Cup winning side with Inter Miami, and he's seeing the big difference with where we are at. And so I think he's one to be able to talk. He's one to be able to actually call it out, and I'm happy that he did.
Oh, because... yeah. He's been on many teams, many good and middling teams. So like he knows. He's a journeyman. He's seen it all. So yeah, from his opinion, I think matters a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It could be something of a in the locker room, at least, if not on the pitch, in terms of voicing that stuff that needs to be voiced. But y'all kind of nailed it, and I think everybody realizes now and understands that we're not going to win with this group of players. It's not going to happen. And as much as the salary cap and the MLS rules will allow you to, come summer, you need to get rid of as many as possible.
Yeah.
Whether we like them or not, whether they've good performances here and there, because none of these guys work with each other. No one or two players for me stand out on this team as must-haves. Must stay. Can't. This team doesn't work without them. There are some players that I like, some good ones. Like I think Jay is great. And Saba did decent tonight. Should have scored there. He's not what he was either. But nobody is on this team, so it's kind of silly to call out individual performances right now, whether they're good or bad, because none of it really works. And I'm not going to be sad to see anyone leave, and that makes me sad.
Honestly, so if I love a player, Like, I truly want them to be happy, and I enjoy them as a person, and I think, like, I want nothing but the best for them. I kind of want them off this team. I kind of want Jay Fortune to be on a good team and to see positive things.
Yeah. 100%.
That's really tough to hear there, I think, but it is kind of giving the idea that, okay, there are a lot of players that are, either like coming from a sunset sunrise type of standpoint. There's a number of players on that sunset and a lot of players on that sunrise, but how many players are truly in that daytime, in their prime, where they're reliable, they are, first name on the team sheet, they are performing? Like, we don't have them.
Yeah, they're supposed to be the DPs, and they are a far cry from that.
Yeah, and I think that's really where we're at, is that this metaphor is pretty much, we have a lot of sunset and sunrise players.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. Like, if you think about, like what Glenn said, if you're not totally upset with seeing basically everyone gone, that to me says that you don't have a team that has a foundation, because you have no one to build anything around, whether that be talent and skill, whether that be culture and identity and personality. Like, no leadership. There's just nothing there.
There isn't. There's nothing that I see that I want to build on.
Yeah.
Right?
That we can't at least improve in some significant way. Like, I remember Nick, I think it was Nick Stemps or someone was like saying how he's like, you know what? It's like, if you just like replace this entire team with any other MLS team, they would just like I would be okay with that because of you just be doing better. Like, you would just be doing better. Like any other players, you just replace any player with like some other player that plays the same position on some other team, they would just be doing better.
I mean, yes, currently for sure, but it also, I think we saw the major difference when we started Saba, Fafa, Moranchuk in a different position.
Yeah,
I mean, it looked really quite decent for a big part of the match, and so
definitely better.
We took some shots.
Yeah, we took some shots. Like, let's be real on the other games. Like, we didn't look this dangerous. We didn't get 20 shots.
I agree. I agree with it. But again, it's I don't look at it and go, oh, there we go. I say, we should just try to do this more often until the summer.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, because from a entertainment standpoint, this was a lot more interesting to watch than some of the other games that we've had. And so,
I agree.
And I think that's the brutal part of it, is that still it doesn't yield the results that we want. Not even something that we can, at least. I mean, it's at home. You have to take care of business, and like, it's just not even an important thing, I think, for the players anymore. It feels like it's there's even moments in the latter part of the matches where the fans, yes, there is difficulty in doing this, but the fans are willing the team, into the final third. They're saying, go forward, go forward. Yeah. We're passing back to the goalkeeper. Like, it's just, what can you do? Like, it's, we're doing our part. I mean, it's, there has to be awareness on how much time is left. Like, I'm sure all the coaches are yelling, but we passed it back to Oyos.
Well, at least we did less of that tonight. We have these brief moments, 10 minutes here, 5 minutes here, where the play is pretty decent. Collectively, it looks okay. We're creating some chances, and that kind of attitude actually produces some stuff for us. Maybe not goals, but clear looks, clear chances. And then for some reason, we stop. We're like, that worked really well, but let's not do that anymore. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, we breached the final third pretty regularly, pretty easily. And then there's just nothing from there. We go to attack the goal, and it's just we can't do it. Can't do it in any competent way. It always breaks down, or we get cold feet and pass backwards, like you said. Like we'll be near the box and we'll just still somehow do the ring of death or the U of death out to the outside, and then it goes backwards. It doesn't need to be like this. We don't have tools to unsettle the defense. We don't have enough dynamic movement in their box and in their side to really get their defense unsettled. We just kind of are we're too static. Once we can get, and I think teams just know that. They know, okay, we can lose the midfield battle. Let Atlanta United come. And once they get to our defense and we're set back, they're just not going to know what to do with it. And then we're going to take it from there, and then that'll be it. So, that just seems to be the case. That's the only explanation I get. I mean, the other explanation, and it's probably fair to also say that Atlanta United's midfield, like AJ has said, we have a lot of midfielders. We're pretty good in the midfield. We regularly can build the play up, and we can breach their final third, but we don't have a lot of people with a killer instinct that can take it to the last part.
Yeah, they're not incisive. Yeah, they're not.
Exactly.
They don't have the edge. They don't have the cutting edge.
They don't have the edge.
And I mean, it's an aspect though where you have a lot of these pieces. Again, they're misfits. They're just square peg round holes type of situations, and it comes down to it again for Tata, and those blaming Tata, and yeah, he blamed himself too. But what is he supposed to do with these pieces?
Outlive them. That's what he's gonna do.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's nothing he can do. We have this whole franchise, this whole organization has needed for several years now to come to Jesus, and they have it. And Jesus has finally come to us. And we can only hope that this is rock bottom, right? It certainly feels that way, even though I know we've all said that multiple times over the years.
Yeah.
But this feels as bottom as it could get.
Yeah, this is a true spoon contending team. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, tonight we are in that position, and so
absolutely.
Will we get better? I'm not sure, but it is this too. How many sides look like we do? Where, okay, maybe tonight notwithstanding, but to a degree, we had the better of the chances. We pretty much controlled the match. Possession aside, we controlled the match. But the issue is, how many sides look like us? Where most of the games, we control possession. We, not only that, we look like that team that is just, they want to be the team. They want to be the protagonist. But ultimately, I think we need to be that team that fights, is scrappy, goes Route 1.
Yeah.
Are assholes to play against. Be difficult to play against.
You're talking about United States men's national team?
Oh my gosh. There's another team that needs to come to Jesus. We have somehow, however this team gets rebuilt, and whatever we do going forward, we have to shed this big club mentality. This is not us. We are who we are right now. We have to accept that and play in that way with that kind of attitude. It's not 2019 anymore, guys. It's just not. And the sooner we accept that, and the sooner we adopt what you're talking about, AJ, of go kick somebody, be scrappy, win ugly, I think the better off we'll be. And then once you start getting some wins in that way, maybe then you can start rebuilding the ethos of this club and who you really want to be as a franchise long term.
Yeah.
Because trying to start that right now from where we're at and telling these players that are coming in, which we don't know because I'm not in the scouting department, none of us are, we don't know the conversations that happen with these players when they go out and try to court them of who we are.
Yeah.
I would love to know what that conversation is like, what the PowerPoint presentation is for these prospective players, big club or whatever. It's no, that's not accurate. It's not true of this
They definitely
club
are
right now.
told that propaganda because when they come here and are asked like what brought you here or what did you hear about Atlanta United, they'll say things like that. Say, oh, it's a big club. We hear about you in Europe, etc., etc. So
And
Propaganda.
we've seen this in the Rooted in the Stripes stuff, where do we remember what was said about Barracol?
that he's a very cognitive player, the likes of Michael Parker's.
Yeah,
And that he's
like
a leader,
very cerebral.
right? And those type of things, and it's like,
Bro,
I mean, it's not readily apparent, but
no.
it's just one of these things where, there's definitely something broken in the scouting department. That's for damn sure.
If you think
very
Michael
least.
Parkhurst and Juan Bear Carl of this cut from the same cloth, or like a plug and play type of situation there, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. But yeah.
Maybe we could just get the band back together real quick for a day. 2018-19 squad, have them come in and do a pep talk. Just talk about. I'm almost not kidding. Of just like
I don't
the guys
dislike
back together and say, just talk to the guys about what worked for them. What was it apart from the magic sauce, the secret sauce that you can never recapture of the bonding over a brand new club. Like you can't recreate that.
This is something, Glenn, I've been saying for a while, is that
really?
It comes down to like ownership of the club of the club in the player's individual mind. It's that I don't think a lot of these players come here with any kind of intention like that the 2017 players came in with, because they came in, Tata specifically. I mean, you even heard Culebra recently on an interview on like ESPN, the Spanish one, was saying, he's really excited to be here to start the NWSL team. That's like when they said, well, what are you excited for about Atlanta? Like, what about Atlanta is whatever. And he didn't say about Atlanta United. He didn't say about being the president for us. He specifically said first, I really was excited about the experiment of starting with a brand new team from scratch. That's what he said first.
I'm excited too. I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it is one of those things where this is a team that is an albatross as far as, what he has to take on for the project. So, yeah, I can't imagine why he would say that. Yes, I am excited to get at the helm of LA United. Like, yeah, he got hired, and then he's not actually doing the work for a couple months. I think it's pretty telling to a degree, because yes, he's still finishing his his job, but I think it's just one of those things where I don't know, as far as how excited he is about LA United, that part, I don't know. I don't know if I hold too much weight into it yet.
Yeah.
If he starts saying some other things that it's like, okay, he absolutely favors the NWSL team, then okay.
Yeah.
But omission of it, I don't think doesn't mean that,
Not necessarily, yeah. I was curious. Yeah. Anyway, Glenn, let's get your final opinions about this match, and if anything else you wanted to say about, the whole situation.
The situation is what it is. We all know. Summer, you're going to have to reboot as much as humanly possible. And we're 2 to 3 years away from probably being competitive. This match was a little bit better. And from now until we can hit that reboot button as much as we can, let me
ask you real quick. Reboot specifically, 2 buyouts. Is that possible? And if so, do you think we do that? Is that the nuclear option that we should be doing?
We should. We won't. I don't think.
So what does that tell you if the club is not willing to do like a nuclear option type of restructuring?
Well, a lot of that also depends on who's going to be available in the summer. And they might want to be waiting until, drag this out even further, unfortunately, until the calendar shift happens, because that's a big deal. In terms of player availability once we align with Europe, and do you want to make these drastic changes right now when a year from now you might be able to get who you really want for the long term?
So you're saying 2 to 3 windows is what you're saying.
exactly what I'm saying. 2 to 3 windows. Yep. Same old, guys. Yeah.
All right. Well, I
Painful.
want to introduce Glenn from the Five Takes as the new club president.
All right. That's we are a little bit handcuffed and constrained by what we can do because of circumstances. But at the very least, I think it would be nice if Hendo, the new president, whoever, would come out at right around World Cup break or whenever and just really level with us. Really, well, it would be nice to hear from him. I'm sure he knows, but I don't know. There would be something cathartic, something just kind of honest and earnest about the leaders of this franchise coming out face to face, brutal as it would be, and just owning it and just owning how bad this has been, and to really express, for us to see it in their eyes and hear it in their voice, how much this means to them too, so we connect with them on that level, because this means a lot to us. And right now it feels like the fans hate losing more than the players and the staff, and that's a tough thing. So that's where I'm at with it. Better play tonight. Let's play more of this as much as we can, and then see what we can do in the summer.
All right.
Yeah, the aspect of what you were talking about earlier as well, about having some, like Parky, or let's not wait until 2028 for the 10-year reunion for Atlanta United to, kind of get the players to talk to the team or whatnot. Kind of like how the Braves do, where they bring the whole team of whoever's still alive for some teams.
Skipper comes in. Comes in and talks to the guys. That could be valuable.
Exactly, and it essentially gets them into a right winning mindset to a degree of at least giving that presentation to them, where it's like, oh man, this is inspiring.
Just to buy into the club at the very minimum,
Absolutely. And so, yes, having Guzan there is great. Having Garza there as well. But, I think there's got to be some more of those type of big characters that, we can kind of bring back a little bit, even though, Miggy is one of them. Joseph, it's going to be hard-pressed to see him in probably this year or next year. But...
yeah, it would be helpful. I think it would be helpful, because it's too confounding how many players come here in the last 5-6 years, don't do well, go elsewhere and do pretty decently. I'm looking at you, Luis Araujo. Where the hell was that? Yep. He's doing great. Anyhow.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Yeah. Thanks for letting me lament for a minute. We're going to be all right. We're going to be okay somehow, someday.
We will survive, but we will have better days. That's for damn sure.
Yep. Nothing gold stays forever. Nothing bad either. It will pass at some point.
That's true.
Indeed.
All right.
All right,
y'all.
See you. Thanks, homie. Have a good one.
Be good. See ya.
You too. Yep. Just like this morning shit, this too shall pass.
Nice. Let's see. I think we are going to have Nick up next if he's awake. I know we're getting a little late, so I apologize. But what I will do now while we're waiting, I'm going to look at the chat now. There's a good amount of comments tonight. Thank God for the Braves and the Hawks. Iron Mike 404 says. Five Stripe Carolina says, why do we even care anymore? I'll watch the Golf Channel on Saturday instead of watch us play. Good for 70 minutes and then lose to Toronto by 2 goals on Saturday. Fafa is the captain now, in my opinion. Interesting. I don't think he's the captain yet. But, again, like I said, he's a bright spot. So, I'm happy about that. There's in a terrible, terrible team, at least there's one good thing going on that we can talk about. There's more than one good thing, but he is one of them. Rancho Dos Pinos says, glad I gave up my season ticket holding last season. And Tara Moody says, I would feel better and tolerate this now had we won another championship in 2019. Technically, we won the U.S. Open Cup, was a championship, so that was kind of neat. But I get your point, though, MLS Cup. Joshua says, hey, Atlanta United lost. Yes, that's what we're here to talk about, and it is very upsetting. Xavier Rose Sosa says, if Atlanta gets bounced in U.S. Open Cup. The season is over. Looking forward to 2027. Glad you're looking forward. Yeah, I am too. I would like to be like optimistic about something, so that could be something to be optimistic about. Yeah, Five Stripes also says very frustrating and is a huge understatement. Crazy how based on market value we should be in third place, not 15th. Yeah, but market value is whatever. And our scouting department needs to be had a strong look at. Ellie and Ren Soccer Edit says, yeah, but Tata waited too damn long. He also said it was so clear they were tired and need some fresh minds and legs. That's about the substitutions. Yeah, I think that's something that we always talk about. Tata being maybe a little too late on the subs. Anyway, let's get Nick in here, and then as Nick settles in, I'm going to continue to read some of these comments because I just definitely want to get to the majority of them before we move on.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah.
Or
Ellie also says Tata's fault. I guess he's just talking about the substitutions.
Yeah, if you guys want to send super chats, we will definitely read those. We don't necessarily have to read every single
I'm not going to if there's like an insane amount, but you know what I mean. I can read it a little bit quick. So Rancho says SKC has one game in hand on us. Jay Riddle says Saba Shitsanidze. Alan Salazar says Matt Edwards and Fafa are slept on. I still don't know why Cooper Sanchez is still starting, in my opinion. Jay Riddle says Saul's 6th row seat going for $12. Yeah. Did you want to stop for a second there, AJ?
Yeah, I disagree with the Cooper Sanchez thing. I mean, yeah, I think there is a reason why he is starting, and yeah, he looks vibrant a lot of times. I mean, the very first shot of the game was from him, where he's crashing the box. Like, his movement is very good. He's pretty secure on the ball for his age. Like, it's, I think it is a mistake if you're starting somebody over him at the moment. You know, but go on.
Yeah, I would jump in and say that, like, genuinely Sanchez might be the best midfielder on the team right now. Galarza didn't have it today. He, I think, is a better player than Sanchez is right now, but I don't know who else I trust to go out there and do the job if it's not Sanchez next to him. And he's a starter for a reason. He told the media yesterday that he set a goal for himself of starting 5 games, and now he started 6. And it's April 23rd.
Yeah.
Very early in the morning. But, I mean, I think it goes to show how Tata feels about him, because Tata's not going to start somebody if they don't deserve it. And I think just what Cooper brings is we don't have another midfielder on the roster that does that. The pressing, the physicality, just going out there and emptying the tank for 70 minutes is extremely difficult. And no one does that the way Cooper does.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts.
Yep, intensity is always there from him, so I like that. That's one of the things to definitely look for in these games. Oreos are for me says I think it's time to sell back the rest of my season tickets. This is just pitiful at this point. Jen Taylor Jones says that looked like the AmFam Cup. They also said, dude, no one in the building does the Viking clap anymore. It's just sad. I never noticed it outside of the supporters until I went and sat in Amy's seats 2 matches ago, and no one does it. Jared also says, wild that a 34-year-old Fafa was the bright spot. I know, man. Gren Paisan says, F this team. Five Stripe Caroline says, Tata presser starting now. Supporters groups need to put more pressure on the front office. I don't know how much pressure they can put on, but I think they are doing things, and they have in the past, so it is definitely not impossible for them. So they will, if they feel it makes sense, and I think they are.
They are in the room. They are in the room for some of those things, and so yes,
they are.
Absolutely should.
So Jay Riddle also says, retire the Viking clap in place of protest chants. What was it? 20K attendance announced? That was like 30, but it's still, not very good. Lowest numbers. Doug reported in a non-COVID season for MLS match.
It said 30. I would venture it actually looking probably more like 18, 20. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, as actual numbers, sure, yeah.
Right.
13 is polite of you.
Sprawlby says, I'm just ready to see the back of the half of these players. says to strip the gears of a Ferrari in 8 years. Yeah, it's that's kind of what it felt like. AMBSE thinks tanking works in soccer like it does in the NFL. Yeah, there is no benefit to the draft for us for doing badly, unfortunately. Yeah, Drew says, I have the Sage ready. Hopefully I can lift the curse against Montreal. So I'm going to skip a couple of these because we do have a lot tonight. Wizard Machine says, Saba 0 goals in MLS in 2025. He should never have seen the pitch ever again. We are snowflakes for putting up with this. Interesting wording. Jay Riddle says, Tata just said in the presser that if he didn't have the history at the club, he'd probably have been fired. Yeah, that's a wild one. We talked about that a couple times tonight. That's going to be one of those, AJ, I'm going to expect a quote graphic out with that tomorrow because that is going to live.
Two bigger quotes in a row from Tata, too.
I know.
You don't always
He's
get
really
that. He's a
cooking.
very boring interviewer.
Yeah.
Right. No, he and Joseph, like they did this consistently. You know, when they both were here the first time, and yeah, no, expect that for sure. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to do that right now, but I wish I could.
How dare you not be working on that while
Right.
talking right
Now.
Oh, yeah, so Jen Taylor says, why can't we fire the whole team and just play the kids? Literally nothing else has worked with this shite roster. Jay Riddle says, Atlanta United is toxic at this point. No big name manager going to go near this club if Tata leaves. Wizard says, the fact this version of Fafa Picault, the MLS lifer who was scoring 20 plus 5 years ago, is our best attacker, should tell you where we are. All right, skipping again a few because we got a bunch. Official Chitro, yeah, that's right. He joined our Discord recently. By the way, join the Discord. It's a good time in there, despite how terrible it is out of there. Says, boy, we are trash. We should have won that game. Jay Riddle also says, Galarza had a forgetful night, 67% pass completion rate. 5-stripe Carolina. Maybe River Plate fans were right about Galarza. I don't know. I'm not going to really support the Galarza hate right now if he didn't have like a lights out game. I mean, it's weird. Like, you know, we heard from one guy earlier tonight, AJ, he was a one-man midfield for us. And then other people were like, he had a terrible night. It's interesting with the difference that people say.
It's the first time I didn't really notice him, to be fair, but I feel like as probably the best player on the team, he's allowed to have a bad one. So
yeah. So official also says Amador was my GOAT when he first came to our team. Then he started getting timid. This match showed glimpses of how he used to be. Going back down a little bit more still. These are the last 6 or so comments. Jay Riddle, Garth Largray was a data guy, great at strengthening the data analytics team, sports science, etc., but never fixed the culture. He also says 2 buyouts, a season ticket, price freeze announced for the next 2 years, offer Tata an $8 million contract to stay another season, and give him whatever he wants. Bring in a new scouting team. This is his prescription on how to fix things. And also, Mauricio, I think he's talking about Calabro, has a legacy to protect. I expect some big waves from him. Interesting. Last couple ones. Danger Zone says, hey team, what's the best way out of the ELL problem? Surely nobody will pay big money for him. So what's left? Buyout, trade, prospect?
Buyout.
Yeah. And last one.
You got to trade him for some minor leaguers like in baseball.
Last comment here. Edgar ATL HDZs. I've realized it's a rebuild year. Yeah. Yes, it is. It's good. Also, the new president of football forgot the new role. He used to be at Tigres. He arrives after Liga MX season ends at the end of May. Something will shift. Yeah, I definitely expect some big things coming from him. And then Danger also asked, anyone know why Hoyos is still starting? I mean, his only 2 fans have to be his mom and Tata.
Not even his dad. That's harsh.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
maybe, but it's one of these things where, yeah, he had a good match last, on Saturday, and in this match, I wouldn't really blame him on this.
I mean, the goals were they were defensive breakdowns. They weren't him just screwing something up.
So yeah, for the moment, it's more of a pet theory as far as for people.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't something to beat LA United with. Can we find better players than Hoyos? Yes. We might have one on the team, but it depends on the type of game that you want to play. And again, like we mentioned with Glenn, it's that this is it. It's just perplexing why we continue to bash our head against the wall with the type of football that we continue to play.
Yeah.
When again, it's just large in part there are not technicians all across the pitch.
I mean, Doug Roberson asked Tata directly in the last presser, like, why are we playing like this, basically? Like, when you know it's just not working. And he's I can plan to continue to play like this, was his answer.
I'll read off some numbers real quick, and then I have a question for you guys on that. I was thinking about it a lot on my long, lonesome walk to Marta. I don't know if you guys have read off all the stats yet, but I'll do the little 92-9 read that they usually do real quick. Shots were 23-8 Atlanta. Shots on target were 9-4 Atlanta. Quarter kicks were 8-3 Atlanta. Fouls were 14-10 Atlanta, sorry. And then XG 2.9 to 1.1 Atlanta. Well, why are you playing like this? That's why. I mean, you did enough. They just didn't like. I admittedly did not watch from when the second half started to about the 80th minute. I was capoing today for the first time ever, Gamey, but when I was done, I was like.
By the way, AJ had some criticisms for you earlier. You have to rewind and go watch them.
Oh God.
You know.
That's fine. I mean, it wasn't great, but you know what? With 2 music degrees, I'll eventually figure it out. But it'll be fine. But I kind of just stood.
Shout out to Reggie, who was singing his ass off.
Oh yeah, he was awesome.
He was putting some vibrato in it, some timbre.
Oh, no, that was me too. Was
you? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, lead bass in men's choir for 4 years. But anyways. Yeah, right. Just watching the last 10 minutes plus the fraction of stoppage time we deserved. I probably, if you're on the capo stand just looking at the field, you're probably as close as you can get to a goal without being literally standing behind where the pyro zone is. And watching Matt Turner make multiple incredible saves was like, okay, yeah, this team just isn't going to have it this year, and maybe this little span of the year, like whatever. But
he had 8 on the night, I think.
Yeah, 8 saves is a lot. Like you don't often see that, and it was just stunning. Like if you go back to the stats, like 9 shots on target. If you're saying he had 8 saves and we had 1 goal, like that math adds up there. But just like the latte lot header in stoppage time, like the 3 or 4 Saba chances, like that all fell. Like his 1-on-1 was just maddening.
Oof, yeah.
And just watching that, like being that close to it, like broke something in me. And I thought our supporters liaison, who kind of handles us, Andrew, I thought he was gonna like yell at me for shaking the capo stand too hard because I almost probably broke it. But like I literally like instinctually, like one of the other guys up there looked at me funny because like when the final whistle blew, I like slammed the bottom of the capo stand, and then he looked at me and like one of the players in the field had slammed the turf at the exact same time in the exact same way that I did. It was kind of funny.
Was it me?
My question for you guys is
turf? Or not? It's not turf.
We've seen him. Yeah, it's real grass now. But I don't remember. He does that a lot. We've seen him do it on video before. But so my question is like, if this season is kaput anyways, which they'd have to play on like 1.7 points per game to make the playoffs at this point. So I'm just assuming the season's over at 1-1-7. And would you keep playing Tata's style? If you're a Tata, would you keep doing what you want to do and just be like, hey, front office, this isn't what you want, but this is what I'm going to do. If you're going to have me here on this, assuming they're paying him a fuck ton of money, because they probably are. They did the first time, so probably paying him more this time to come and deal with this. Like, would you just do that? Or would you, if you were Tata, just be like, we need points, 5 at the back, bunker and counter?
I mean, we already
for that right now. But
like I said, we already heard his answer to that in the press conference. He said, "I'm going to continue."
Exactly.
To play
I mean,
this, so.
I'm saying, like, do you agree with that? Because I do.
I agree with it? I mean,
yeah, I do.
I agree with it. I mean, like, if the people who are going to stick around, have them be more bedded into his system. So when the guys who come in who are going to take the place of the guys who just, I don't know, are not compatible with it, are, so there's less getting up to speed time. I think that probably would be advantageous. So that's what I would say. I don't care, honestly, right now. Like,
Yeah.
unless there's some kind of way that we can make an incredible run to come back and do something with it. I don't really care. I'm just like, do what you need to do with the eyes for the future. I don't like right now, like you said, it's chalked.
Yeah, I think there's an argument for both, and the argument for playing counter bunker type of football is, in some ways, maybe it should have been done sooner in hindsight, where we should have been prioritizing some more results. But the flip side of that is that MLS is a very forgiving league. Us sneaking into ninth isn't out of the realm of possibility. It's still
That's true. The East is like way worse than we thought it is.
Exactly, because yes, I mean, Orlando, like, absolutely, being bedfellows with us is a surprise.
Oh no, they're above us in the table.
Oh yeah,
now.
they shot up after a win.
Yeah, we're 15th now.
Yeah, it was.
But
we
it's still in swinging distance.
just
We're
above.
still in swinging distance. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right,
We were
right.
just above them before this match. So it's one of those,
You're
yeah, like it's not outside, like I said, outside the realm of possibility. But, the playing the rest of the season with, our way of football that Tata wants to play, like I mentioned, like, I think earlier in the show already, is that this is the quiet part that's probably not being said out loud, which is we're probably okay with losing. Because what Tata said, that's job security. Like, that's absolutely, he's not afraid of losing the job. Like, he knows he
shouldn't be
for a while, unless things just absolutely go off the rails where the fans turn on Tata. And
Don't do that.
I think that's probably where it could happen, is that if we just absolutely do not
I
get
see what
any
you're
run
saying.
of it.
Yeah. So you're saying he needs to prioritize results so he can keep his job.
So he can, after that, after a run of results, start to play what he wants to do again. Because it's just that, you mix a little of that pragmatism like he did to win games in the playoffs. And then, after that,
Gotcha.
I mean, the teams that he coached, it's not like, oh, he was just all in on pragmatism after that.
Yeah,
It was,
exactly. It's a hybrid answer to it. Do it until you get some confidence, and then things start to turn around a little bit. And then, I mean, yeah, because to your point, like, if they can just get some wins, maybe they build some confidence. And then when they are going back to the Tata's preferred style, they perform better in it.
And that's
I
how
mean, you probably
do
just
it,
got to.
too.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, but that's just how you do it. It's like any team that, a lot of teams are confidence based, but it's that when they score, then the handbrake comes off. Then they are able to actually, maybe do some flicks, maybe do some tricks. That's when the confidence comes back.
Yeah.
So
Not
back
second
heels to
guessing.
nobody, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah, back heels no way. Which, yeah, we were doing that tonight, and it's like, oh man. But
Hey,
there
whoa,
was a
whoa.
really
We
nice
did-
one.
You did
by
call for a
Muyumba.
super chat, AJ, and we did get one. So thanks, Jay
boy.
Riddle, for $2. I'd still put Riley in over Muyumba next match.
I mean, yeah, I think from a defensive standpoint, even though he made, arguably a mistake that cost us, I think if we're going by the learning and going by that type of thing, Riley's probably your future as far as that goes.
Yeah, and I would say if you want the ball, put Muyumba in there, and if you want more defensive, put Riley in there, just like AJ said. Riley for me, whether it was tonight or last Wednesday in Open Cup, really PMO on the ball. I was not happy with it. Like, I felt like just every time he got it, he would just turn around and pass it to a center back. And I'm like, yes, theoretically that can be correct in some instances, and it is correct in some instances, but that, like, that's a
Especially if
lot
your
of
name
that.
is Josetu.
Oh God. Right. No, don't get me. The 5 takes people almost like crucified me for that take. But I think you have to find a balance there, and like maybe on the road, like, yeah, if Will Riley can go, maybe you do it for 60 minutes this Saturday, and then when you're back here, 10 days from now, it's probably Muyumba again.
And
That's fine. That will be fine though.
2 more super chats, also from Jay Riddle, and also for $2. Thanks again for
Hell yeah.
these. Very appreciated. Stats are misleading. Can't finish regardless of XG. He also says, if Weah returns to the twos and does well, give him a shot.
You want
Yeah,
Patrick Weah or
maybe.
you want Liam Butts? Either one.
I mean, maybe. I think it would be. I mean, it's somebody that could offer something different. Is Tata going to do that? I don't know. Especially like you have 3 guys that are on way bigger contracts than those 2, so highly doubtful. Highly doubtful, because we'd be basically eating salaries for. I think probably that totals. I mean, I forget what Latte Lat is on, but
Like
that could be up
4.1.
Yeah, that could be
Something like
upwards of like 5 to 6 million, 7 maybe even, depends.
Yeah, if you're not starting Latte Lat or Moranchuk, that's 4 million each, and then Santos and Togashi probably like combined for $500,000. They're on supplemental. So
Exactly.
Also-
what if Santos or Pico's on supplemental? I don't remember which is which, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I think Santos is on supplemental, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. I just want to
So are
finish
you
off
all-
by saying
go
real
ahead, Mike.
quick that, by the way, Jay Riddle, that $6, that could have been like $5 on the Patreon, and then you could have gotten some fancy stuff on the Discord. So, and I know you're part of the Discord, so next time, hit that up. You get benefits with that stuff. The YouTube stuff, not as much.
Yeah,
but we still
message us with
appreciate it.
information.
Yeah.
We'll give it TV info on that.
Yeah, it is also though people wanting their comments to be read. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
If they're wanting
Yeah,
to
no
do
tea,
that,
no shade.
yeah.
My last thought for tonight was Alexei didn't score, but he kind of just. I was talking about this in Discord the other day, like when I put out the predicted 11 and put him in it at striker. I was 50-50 between him and Togashi just because Togashi scored an Open Cup, and I kind of knew that Latte Lat was not going to start beforehand. I was kind of like, oh, this is not going to happen. And then I put Moranchuk in because I think one of the things that made Yakamaki so good in Atlanta for the season that he was here and playing was he brought everyone in the attack together. And I don't think Moranchuk does that in the same way, but I think he might be the only person on the roster that can do that at the center forward position. Like, Gigi didn't score every goal. He didn't score 20 goals. He scored 18 or whatever, but didn't have many assists, but he'd win the header, bring the ball down, give it to Almada, who'd assist whoever scored,
So
whoever
hold
it
up
was
play.
that year. So hold up play, yeah, all of that, and being good in the air. Alexei can do a lot of that, especially if he's going to be a liability on defense, which, as good as he is on the ball, he's a class player on the ball.
Right.
He's not good at defense. He does not play defense. And that's maybe more acceptable from your striker. So the question is Alexei just the starting striker now? Because I think that's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, as far as you want to be able to keep possession of the ball, especially with the way that Tata wants to play. Latte Lat's not doing that, and so that's part of the issues of why we cannot stay on the opposition side of the pitch, because I mean, it's, we want to play this way, but then we end up playing against these low or mid blocks rather, that basically the space is so truncated, and Miggy, Moranchuk, I mean, they're being marked by a ton of players, and they can't get out. And so it's just like it looks like that's why we don't create that many chances when all 3 of them play.
That and like you said on Weekly this week, I just want to bring it up because it's a good point related to this. Like when Mihai was talking about how we got a lot of players in build-up and no one gets in the goddamn box. Like when Latte Lat is also doing the false 9 thing, it's like, you're playing with 6 midfielders against Nashville. Like that doesn't work. And
Or
it's
like
got to be
Steven Alzate said, so much congestion in the middle.
Right, and then you're trying to play this high line with the center backs. Then you've got the other 6 players right fucking in front of them, and then your team is like this big, and the other team just has so much space on both sides of you to just operate, and that's a problem.
And we don't have the technicians, like AJ said. Yeah, it's tough to make that work.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe Moranchuk can do that if he's in the middle of the park and you just spring the wingers, but then you need people to run, and like Sava can do that, but he can't finish.
Apparently
So,
not.
yeah.
He's lost that.
Yeah, it really
went-
does seem
He
like
went
he's
10 and
lost
10
that,
in 2024, by the way.
I know. The
Who's
Miami
that? Yeah,
killer, dude.
ridiculous.
He's just completely lost.
right? And that's why he still gets big cheers inside the stadium.
Dude,
But
fans love that guy.
yeah, but it is one of these things where
I love that
mean,
guy. He's great.
Yeah, he's a
His
shell of
jersey over there.
Mhm.
I mean, biggest cheer in the starting lineup today was Saba. Wasn't even close.
That's awesome.
not
So
even
a
close.
couple more comments real quick. Edgar ATL HDZ says, my last take for the night. Yao Pedro from San Luis in Liga MX would and will be a great replacement for Latte. If anyone is connected, pass the word along. So if any of you know, if you have anyone in the front office, if you have the ear of any of them, tell them about this
That'll be
guy.
rough.
So Edgar can get the, I don't know, reference. He can get a, like a referral fee or something.
I will pass that along next time I talk to Jonathan Spector. my best
Jay
friend.
Riddle also says, Nick, use your musical talent to create some funny self-deprecating chants this season.
Not a lyricist, but I'll try my best. I will get back to you.
And then he
Your
also,
fucking shit usually takes it for us.
so he's also bullying us with money and paid another
As he
$2 to say, you'll take my $2 and you'll like it. And then he said,
Ah!
oh, fuck you, Orlando. I feel like I have to read that fully
yes.
out.
Thank you, Jay. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is, that's coming up. So, yes, OFYO all day.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
I think Jay knows what.
Danger Zone says, also, what happens with Miggy? We all love him, but he's not giving us what we need and are paying for. Buy him out too or trade?
It's not going to
We
happen.
do have 2 buyouts, but yeah, unlikely.
Yeah.
He's our
I don't
captain.
see it.
Tata has said many times that if Elmeron and Moranchuk are healthy, they are playing. And so when Elmeron's healthy, he'll probably come off the bench once, and then he's going to start all the rest of the games.
E3 Inga says a lot less passing back to the keeper tonight. Built nicely and simply did not finish. Moranchuk is golden spiker man of the match tonight. Yeah, I mean, I agree with most of that.
Yeah, the ones that I didn't read earlier was Atlanta passed at 90%. That's really good. Usually I don't really read a whole lot into that, but if you're above 90, like you're
Yeah, with like
passing the test.
3, like high 300s in terms of passing.
Yeah, at least.
That's good. And so it's that. I mean, it's also we didn't touch on the fact that Turner is a U.S. men's national team starting keeper.
Yeah.
Like,
Should be the starter.
And he showed it 9.5 on SofaScore tonight.
Yeah. Right, and I think that's kind of the buzzsaw that we ran into as well. Is that that's a different type of night if we didn't run into him, because I don't think most of the other keepers are going to make those type of saves. So, like it's kind of really rough.
Yeah,
And,
we also didn't
yeah,
have like an insane amount of screamers tonight either. There was a lot of
a
lot of people complaining about how we were just shooting it at center mass right at the goalie.
I mean, they're on goal. I think that's really all you ask for in some sense, except for Saba's shot, which
curled around.
Yeah,
One of my friends
harder.
One of my friends I sit with is a youth soccer coach. His name is Steve. Shout out to you, Steve. And anytime that his U7 girls shoot, he yells, "Not at the keeper!" at the top of his lungs. So maybe we need a little bit of that in here.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, he was trying to go for the bottom left-hand corner, but I think he just ran out of gas after running. I mean, to be fair, he ran like 55
He ran like 60 yards, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a long way, and so no one else was with him.
Right, I'm a prime age player, and I can't run that far, so.
Yeah. And so I think that's a
right.
important thing is like, where are the running mates? Like, where was Papa?
And that is what Latte Lot could do for you in theory, is if you're going to play counter ball, like he's got to be in there just because of the speed. But if you're playing possession ball, no thanks.
Exactly. And so maybe it is this thing where I don't see completely how it would work, but Latte Lat on the left, Miggy on the right, Moranchuk as the false 9. And so you do have 2 pacey players to be able to run past Moranchuk. Will that work completely? I have my doubts.
I mean, if Latte Lot's not making the runs at striker, why would he do it out wide?
Well, I think it's because he's marked by 2 players. If he's only marked by 1 player, hypothetically.
Theoretically. Yeah.
And possibly he might find some more space and, simplify his game a little bit, essentially. He doesn't have to bring others into the game. He doesn't have to, press as high. He doesn't have to, basically try to press all the defenders at once. Maybe he just, you just have to worry about cutting in, taking that shot, and trying to score goals.
Credit to the Arsenal fan. In the year that people have been saying latte lot to the wing, no one has ever been able to explain to me why they should do it, and I've had me believe them. And I was like, okay, I'll buy that for the first time in my entire life. Good job, AJ.
Maybe I know ball. I don't know.
So let's talk about people who know ball. So there's a person on X, average Atlanta fan. Interesting quote. Or not quote, but I'm just going to quote him right here. He says, that Atlanta United loss is somewhat on Tata. I'm sorry, but you put in Hoyos, who keeps making these crucial errors, and you waited to sub in players that looked very good in the final 10 minutes. Completely unnecessary loss. Usually players who are subbed in late when everyone else is tired tend to look pretty good against the tired players. That's not rare or weird. So that's just going to happen. But... yeah, Hoyos I don't think was the problem here tonight. So I thought that was an interesting. I still call them tweets because that's what they are.
Right. That's what they are. Yeah. That's the easiest because most people are going to say retweet, not like a repost. But yeah, but it's again, Hoyos is like the pet theory for everybody.
Yeah,
and it's just like it's a little tired at the moment. If he starts to make more errors, okay, sure, going on him. But these past two matches, he's not been at fault.
So there was one moment in this game where the entire Atlanta United squad appealed for a penalty. I'm not sure I saw that part. I was in the car. Do you guys want to go over that for a second?
This could be my last thought because I gotta get up in like 6 hours. But it was right in front of me. Like I said, I was the closest you could be. I went off the defender's arm. And I'm not saying I had a better view of it than the ref did, but the ref didn't see it from the vantage point that I did. It went off the guy's arm. I will have to go back and watch a replay. Like, if the arm was not in a horribly unnatural position, but that's one of those things where when you haven't had a PK all season, it goes against you. And if you had 4 PKs already this season, you probably get a 5th. That's my take. And to not VAR it is insane. Like, if you're gonna call that on the field, call it on the field. Mm-hmm. You have to go look at the fucking monitor. That's why it's there.
I agree. And it's also that it wasn't shown on the Halo board either. Like we didn't get a replay.
Interesting.
They often don't show it when they know it's wrong.
Yeah, and so and that's usually that's my point usually as well, is that they will show it when they want to get a reaction from the fans. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's I think it's pretty telling. But yeah, maybe it's also because there is that little tit for tat sometimes because that offside goal was not offside. So
yeah. So one more thing, and then I'm gonna stop reading comments because I could probably do this all night. Andrew B. Weiss, cool last name, spelled a little bit different than mine, but he says hashtag Atlanta United can hit cross after cross to absolutely no one, and Carlos Gil hits a no-looker across the 6, and Atlanta United concedes. Yes, Carlos Gil has been doing this in MLS for a long time, and to the bane of our existence many times. So we're familiar with that. We know what he's capable of doing. That was like kind of when we had like Thiago Almada, that's what I felt like. We had a player like that who could just open things up. Like no matter where he was on the field, when he got the ball, take a few steps, it just opened things up. A cross, like a switch on a dime, a through ball that was visionary. Just open up the thing. Gave us options that no one else saw. It was fantastic. Carlos Gil is that type of player, probably to a lesser degree than Thiago, but still very dangerous, and still at this age, very dangerous MLS.
Mm-hmm. Should we get to the wheel? I think someone owes us something. Right?
Oh, fuck me.
He's been waiting for that.
Or shall we wait until
it's too late for this.
Yeah,
it's too late for this.
It's okay. No worry. We can we can hold it over.
Yeah.
But let's spin the wheel.
Yeah,
go.
give me a second to set it up.
Yep.
Da-da.
But it is, yeah. I mean, it's like, I think Tanner was in our Discord, and he was like, yeah, were we talking about going shorter? Yeah. But obviously, this game had a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many people are watching right now, but I think concurrently last match, there were about 30 plus people watching at a very late hour on a Saturday night.
We got 30 people watching right now at almost 12:36.
At 12:36. So it's one of these things. Like I'm happy that people still care. I'm happy that people are angry. I'm happy that people are sad about this. And like I always harp on, like there's that guy that says, why should we still continue to care? It's a good question. But clearly, we all have love for the game, the team, the city. Maybe not all encompassing for everybody, but some of those elements. And I think that's the beautiful thing about this, is that there is this community, and it's you guys. It's you guys that are propping this up. Like we, in a non-self-aggrandizing thing and way, we are propping up the team. Have been for some time.
Yeah. And to your point, there were 4 players that came and even acknowledged our existence today. So yeah, it is us propping up this team.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it was Edwards.
Edwards, Amador,
yeah.
Jay, of 5, because Cooper was over there talking with an assistant coach. He made an effort, and then the coach like kind of halfway pulled him away or something like that. And then Hibbert came later, goalkeeper union strong and all that. So yeah, no big deal.
Awesome.
Yeah,
All right, I got the wheel up. We got Nick, me, and AJ on it tonight. Let's see what ends up being.
AJ.
Oh, it's AJ again.
Come on, Michael. Michael, how is it not landed on you
I don't
at
know.
all?
I don't know.
Not once the whole season.
I don't know. I mean, statistics are a bitch, but
So the expected landing is not meeting it yet. So
like I'm
It's
showing
so-
on screen right now. I had 33% likelihood of each person, so not fooling with the data at all.
wonder if that was our win probability tonight.
Oh no,
It was like 39, I think, 39%.
Yeah,
think
for home
we-
that makes sense.
Yeah, I think we actually had like 50 something according to Bet365.
All right. Well, yeah, the MLS one, the win probability for MLS the Apple TV they put up on the screen in the beginning, it was like
Whatever,
39
they don't know
something, and
nothing.
there was like 24 something for a draw, and like low
Yeah.
20s for or whatever the math is for the away team winning. All right, so let's see.
Yeah,
what do we got here?
Bet365, 52.6%. Yeah.
That's crazy.
What?
All right, so let me get this on here. So tonight we got, I think, what do we got? Like a recurrence of some of the other ones that we had last time.
That's
We
good.
have I Love Adams John, Red Ass Variant, the Spicy Challenge, Random Object Comparison, and, oh god, the Purple Face Paint. That's a good one. I know from experience. All right, so let's see which one we'll be enjoying. And so, what's the one that you owe us still, Nick? I forget.
What?
Random object comparison.
Random object comparison. All right, guess what it
Oh, I
is.
forgot.
Guess what it is, Nick.
Purple.
It is.
Oh,
It
shit.
is paint.
Not me
Face
calling that
Purple.
twice.
That is a wheel slice selected by the patrons. So if you guys want to be influencing on what we put on the wheel of misfortune, become a Patreon today, and you'll be able to have a say in that. This one was selected by some of our the votes from the patrons, and yeah, this is the second time it has
Mike,
been on
are
the
we-
thing.
Mike, are we allowed to put a pin on this for 5 more games until the Orlando postgame show?
Yes, that's
Oh, yeah.
exactly what you're supposed to do. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. It's exactly what
I
you're
need to
saying.
borrow some face paint, Michael.
We're gonna have to have your daughter do it, Michael. That'd
Yeah.
be funny.
Yeah, she would love to. All right. It'll be a lot of glitter, too. I'll tell you that much.
Jeez.
So, hope you like glitter. I know Jen does.
No. Oh yeah. Who besides people that like glitter, like glitter?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. All right. So, okay. So, that's pretty much it from us. Yeah, again, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. I know it's been a rocky road this season. But like JJ said earlier, everyone banding together, commiserating together makes it, bearable. And then we just hope that, our infrastructure, our social glue sticks together until we reach the promised land again. And we can then rejoice at that time together. But until then, we just gotta gut it and stick it out until then.
Before we go, if you are a glutton for punishment, the team does play again in 60 hours and 20 minutes. And then Friday morning in your inbox for your podcast, I'll have Henry Higuita from Scarf and Spikes on with me tomorrow, and we will do something. I don't know yet. We've got some ideas, so we'll make it fun and different for you guys, and not just talking about misery for the whole time. Only for a little bit, I promise. But come commiserate with us on Friday morning. We'll post that probably around then. And last thought for me, if I did not have the pass with Atlanta United Fan TV, then today I'd probably be fired for my thoughts.
Well done. All right, y'all. Well, yes, thank you guys so much. If you're still watching at 12:42 a.m. and yeah, we definitely got through it. We got through the therapy, and I think I feel better for it. I don't know about you guys, but hopefully you guys did.
Don't feel worse.
Yeah, definitely don't feel worse. But anyway, so for Michael, for Nick, oh man, it's late. For me, AJ, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.
Adios.